If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Right. And so let me explain really what that...
So let's just assume for the moment everything that she said was right. Okay, fine. That's totally fine. So what you're saying is you run a company and you are publicly going out and saying, if you don't do what we want, you have to understand that the market will tear you apart. Or not, but they won't. If you're actually in marketing, you'll go, yeah, evidence hasn't really proven that out. That if we don't put a black, lesbian, Asian, Jewish, Muslim person in the game, maybe there'll be a little bit of a tempest in a teacup that you guys will engineer on social media, but it's not going to matter. Do you know how I know it's not going to matter? Do you know how the marketing guys who actually are much more privy to the figures than I have it's not going to matter? Because the number one game last year was also the number one game that the progressive left, of which I'm a proud member of, was Harry Potter. And it was the game that the progressive left said, don't buy this, boycott this because of J.K. Rowling. Boy, they really terrified that Warner Brothers marketing, didn't they? They terrified them all the way into having the number one game because it doesn't move the needle, guys. You're not the majority. Just like the people when we looked at the sales figures for Stellar Blade. It's done okay. It's not even in the top 40 anymore. It's not even in the top 10 in the UK, and it's not even in the top 10 in America. So there are people that like that kind of stuff. I like that kind of stuff. But to act as if you are speaking for this massive group of people on either side, Suicide Squad did not die because it was woke. That is dumb. Just as much as Spider-Man 2 didn't succeed because it was woke. That's just dumb. I played 99% of Suicide Squad. I enjoyed it. I can recognize things that if people point out to me and people say, oh, you know, we don't like things that are woke because it feels forced. And you give me some examples, right? And you don't live in a city where a lot of that stuff is normalized. I could see you pointing out things in Spider-Man 2 or Miles Morales that maybe it's like, okay, that felt too on the nose versus just an organic inclusion. But other than the banner in the Hall of Justice, which kind of sort of maybe you could argue it works, but it also did not feel organic. It stood out like a sore thumb. Short of that, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to Suicide Squad being woke. I'm sorry, I don't. And I played it more than you did, probably, if you played it at all. Again, the Harry Potter story, if you live in the world I live in of game news, which you do, was a big story in that small little pool. We're going to boycott it. Okay. Well, explain to me how it was the number one selling game. Wouldn't that have terrified the marketing team that this woman's talking about? Cap says, do people actually play these games or do they say they're woke or not because of one article? Most of these people are not actually gamers. Most of these people are, the game they play is Twitter. The game they play is chats and NeoGAF. They don't play a lot of games, is what I would say.